Like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about healthy living and how we can do that with some of the vegetables and foods that we grow for ourselves. And we're going to be talking about keto and keto recipes. That's why Jess is up here. So I'm going to kind of do a little interview with her, and we're going to also see what she has that can help us for the times that's coming. One of the news that I heard, and this is coming from my fellow workers, I have not tested this theory out because I didn't go into any stores, but they are telling me that we have no TP in the store again, and we have no ketchup in the store again. I have not verified that, but it's just coming from my coworkers. Emily, good to see you. Grace is in here too. That is awesome. Good to see you, Grace. Bigfoot Prepper's in here. Good to see you. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is how can we get ourselves ready for what's coming? And by doing that is the ability to be healthy. Obviously, that's one of the key things, because when times do get rough, we're not going to be able to go down to the stores, and we're not going to be able to do this and do that. Hopefully you have the stuff that is already set aside for that, but you never know. Some people are not that way yet. Joy Blessed Life, good to see you. Welcome in. So, Jess, how can we take and use keto to that advantage as being homesteaders and able to use keto recipes to actually help with our health and nourish our bodies, and at the same time fill us up?
So I think keto and homesteading go hand in hand, especially people that are growing gardens. Most of your vegetables are going to be keto approved. So, and most of your natural vitamins and minerals come from your vegetables. So keto and homesteading intertwine there together. I did put together a list of vegetables that I'd like to go over tonight that are not only keto approved, but are also really healthy for our bodies to help keep us filled and full of vitamins and minerals.
And like we've talked about before, guys, is you get your vitamins and minerals from the soil. You grow your vegetables, your soil is full of minerals. It gets absorbed into the vegetables, and therefore you eat the vegetables and you get your vitamins and minerals. That's kind of why I was thinking about tying this all together tonight. There's a lot of things that we can use as medicinal as far as a vegetable, and we can also use them for supplementing some of the food sources that we have. And she had a really good list of stuff that she got together. So what's the first one on your list of goodies?
Well, I'd like to go over the Brassica family. There's so many good vegetables, and it would take me all night to go through everything. But the Brassica family is pretty important in my opinion. And the first one I wanted to talk about, they're all really beneficial superfoods. Like, all these foods have a good purpose to them. The first one would be kale, obviously one of my favorite. But kale, it has a lot of vitamin C, K, and A in it, and kale is considered a bitter. So any bitter vegetable or leafy green that you can eat will give you a lot of health benefits. It will help you to have a good, healthy liver. And it also is a decongestant for your gallbladder. So it'll help clean out your gallbladder. It also makes more bile, so you have easier bowel movements. And it also detoxifies your gallbladder and your liver. So kale is really important to me on the lifestyle that I am doing. And then we'll go into cabbage. It's an L-glutamine. It's really good for acne. A lot of healthy benefits in cabbage for your brain, your heart, your muscles. It also will help you fix a leaky gut. If anybody knows anything about leaky gut, it will correct that. And then the juice of the cabbage is also great for healing ulcers or anything to do with your bowels. It also helps with acid reflux and heartburn. So,
what did they say about the difference between the red and just normal cabbage and then your red cabbage? There should be some the plankton in there, or not plankton, pectin.
the pectin. I'm not sure. I didn't really go into too much detail because there is so much on the list, and um, I just wanted to do an overall health of what these things can do for you. So I didn't really dig real deep today.
Little Big
Um,
House Homestead's in here. Jeff's in here. That's really cool. So yeah, they're talking about the ketchup. Like I said, guys, I just heard that from the people at work. I didn't get in good detail. All I heard was they were ticked off because ketchup was scarce. So, and the TP got mentioned again. So, Shawnee's in the house. Good to see you, Shawnee. Tonight we're going to be talking veggies and keto and how it can benefit our lifestyle now that we're living in for down the road. So if we're healthy now and we're eating right now, this can just pass on down later down the road. And hey, Gray, good to see you, man.
okay.
One of the things that I really wanted to talk about also is that cal intake. So Jess is talking about this food that we're going through and looking at calories. What happens if you get into these situations later on down the road where we're not able to eat like we do now and you're starting to slack on our cal intake? That's going to cause issues of tired. You're going to be tired. Your brain's going to be foggy. All this other things. So it's really good to have these vitamin and minerals because a lot of these things are going to help fight that. So what's the next one on your list?
Next one, let's see, would be Brussels sprouts, which Brussels sprouts have the same. Also, I wanted to mention about the green and red. Most of your green vegetables are going to have a high content of K vitamin, whereas other colored, like the red cabbage, will have less. So that would be very important for somebody that's on blood thinners. Like my husband's on blood thinners, so it would be more beneficial for him to eat the purple cabbage than it would the green. Just
Yeah,
no.
Lake Ferry, I don't have an idea because I didn't go and physically check the stores out, but this was just coming from the guys that I work with today that went to the store and they were ticked off when they came into work. So I don't know what the deal is with ketchup. We can our own, we make our own, so it's not a. That's one of the things we're going to talk about too tonight is how can you like ketchup, some of those things you can and make yourself. And I'll be going through and actually putting up some of my recipes. We found a delicious ketchup. It actually is really good. It's like my base for my barbecue sauce, and I love it. But it took me a while to find one of them. But we're going to be talking about that a little later too. So your brassica or your Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts, but I have a terrible time growing them. How to?
Yeah, I do too. I have a horrible time growing them, and I love them, which is a shame. But Brussels sprouts, they have all the same benefits of the cabbage, but cabbage can affect your thyroid, where Brussels sprouts won't. So if you have thyroid issues, you're better off going with the Brussels sprouts than the cabbage.
Dwayne, my thoughts on stinging needle and dandelion is they are an essential food for anybody that is looking for something to munch on. Dandelion is great all the way through, and in the wintertime, the root can be used for detox of so many different things. It can be you can what do you call that? Fry it up in the pan in a cast iron pan over the fire, and you can actually make it in a coffee. It is a wonderful coffee. I've had that already too, so it's really good. Rose Young, good to see you. Dr. Prepper's in the house. So that's one of the things about things. Stinging nettle, guys, will check it out. Do the test because some people, even if you fold it correctly, you still can have an issue and a reaction. All right, Jess, what's next?
Next one would be our radishes, and radishes are high in sulfurs, which help detoxify any types of chemical poison in your body. So for preppers, that's a good one.
And I like radishes. I grow a lot of them,
Yeah.
and I found out now that I can use them instead of my potatoes, which are my other favorite food.
It's also a sinus and mucus decongestant, and it helps thin out the mucus. So if you're having issues with that or breakup in the chest of your mucus, you can just eat some radishes.
Hello, Ass Mama. The other thing I want to talk about too, guys, is another good one is horseradish root. Now, we grow our own horseradish here, and it took a couple years to get into it. But now we have a great supply of horseradish, and it's one of those things too that we use in our master tonics for the wintertime. And we use that in a lot of different things. I got it dehydrated. I can make it into a powder. It's all around. It's a great herb to have in your garden. Have to be careful though, because it's one of those rascals like mint that will take right over. And you'll find horseradish root way down in your tomatoes. So you got to keep an eye on it. I heard something. I love radishes. My wife, not so much. I had last year. I had a Chinese radish. It was a very mild radish, and most of the time, what they're called restaurant radishes. So they don't have that big spice like the big ones do, and the kids really enjoyed them a lot better. So you might want to try that one, Jeff, and see if she likes. It's called a restaurant style, or we call it the Chinese radish. It's really longer. It's a long radish. Obviously, the stores look for better ways so they can get the most out of the product. So, Heritage Heart, good to see you. I just saw your thing. I need horseradish. I can't find fresh roots to grow. Well, hang on to that thought, because when I harvest mine, I'll have it lots. All right, what's next on your
Beets?
Beets?
So,
gotta love the beets. Pickled beets?
Yeah.
What about pickled beets?
Well, yeah, you can do pickle beets.
I love pickled beets.
Beet tops, so they're really, really high in potassium. So if you have a hard time maintaining potassium in your body, the greens would be awesome.
Another thing too, guys, if you do have, like, I know somebody that has, for like can't eat fresh kale, it affects her stomach. If that's the case, you can cook this stuff. I actually put fresh beets in my salad, the beet greens, and they froze really well this year, or last year, not this year. So there's another way that you can do that too.
It's also loaded with nitric oxide, which is good for decreasing tension in the arteries and decreasing your blood pressure. So beets are really good. Also, beets are really good eye health as well.
Arkman, good to see you. Glad you stopped in here.
Hello, Arkman.
And the best life, good to see you.
Hello.
So tonight we're talking about veggies and how we can use them in the road, our stuff that's going to happen down the road, and how we can apply a good diet like keto to our repertoire of things that we have. Obviously, I said it before, for the new people that are just coming in, if you're going to be in a situation where you can't get your normal cal intake, you need to make sure what you're eating is the best that you can get. And I think this is a good way to do that. As homesteaders, we have that option to go and get whatever we need out of the garden, and then we can just go right and eat it. So Jess is going to go through tonight of some of the hot ones that she thought about. So that's what we're doing. Barefoot in Arkansas, good to see you. Hello, hello. Gray, received confirmation that your package arrived today. Well, that's for ARC. Okay. All right. What is next?
One of my favorites is next, and it's asparagus. Asparagus has a lot of fiber, so it feeds your colon, gives you healthy colon. But what I like most about it is that it's an anti-anxiety. It's really good for stress and relaxation. It's also loaded with vitamin B1. It's an anti-diuretic, so if your body holds a lot of water, it'll help flush those liquids out of your body.
The other thing too is I love fresh wild asparagus. I do have a lot of it in the garden, but asparagus you can find all over the place out in the meadows. It's one of those plants that once it's set and it's going, you'll find it there year after year. So it's one of those things where, hey, Going Green Mom, thank you so much for the shout out in your live. That was awesome. Always be prepared. Good to see you. So if you guys can find some of those asparagus plants growing in the wild, mark it on your map, draw a map, use a GPS, whatever means necessary, because it's a gold mine.
Mm-hmm. And it also helps you prevent kidney stones too, so it's a good one. Now this one is not a brassica. The next three are actually not brassicas, but I find that they're really important, especially in a scenario where we're trying to find our own medicine or take care of our own bodies. And the first one is garlic. Garlic is a super powerful herb. It's really potent. It's anti-cancer, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-fungus, and also anti-yeast. It cleans out all the bad microbes in our body, and it's just a huge, great immune booster.
The other thing too is that all of the toxins that are in your body, you can take a garlic clove and use, whatever means necessary, but you put it on the bottom of your foot and go to bed, and it will suck all the toxins out of your body. Hey, great. Thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. I appreciate it. That's awesome. So one of the other things too, guys, is I wanted to, while he's in here and you see him, big blue line there, me and Gray will be getting together, and we're going to be talking, and we're going to be doing a 3 or 4 day, or not day, but we're going to do 3 or 4 podcasts about wild medicinal plants. We've been talking about that for a while. We're going to be setting that up, and we're going to be doing a lot of other stuff too. So keep an eye open on both of our channels, and that is going to be really fun, and there's going to be a lot of good information in there. Onions do that too, Mark. Yep, Kathleen, they absolutely do. You can onions, and the thing of it too is onions and garlic, they're like brother and sister, or however you want to say it. They work very well with each other, and they're very powerful. One of garlic says one is the antioxidants. It's actually antibiotic. And so garlic was used for a long time, and it is a very, very good thing to have in the garden. You can dry it, dehydrate it, dry it out, put it up, and you can grind it for seasoning. You can grind it, make a tincture out of it. You can do so much with garlic.
Mm-hmm. So the next one on my list is turmeric, which everybody knows that's a superfood too. It helps with anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, and is also great for brain health and pain.
You have to be careful with turmeric though. Turmeric, if you are on blood thinners, turmeric, talk to a professional doctor, because turmeric can cause issues.
Yes, and all of this stuff. I'm not a health nutritionist or anything like that. Any of this stuff we're going over, this is just from my own experience. You really need to do your own research and see what works for your body. Turmeric, for me, does not work. I tried to use turmeric when I first blew the discs in my back, and I'm just one of those type of people that turmeric does not work in my system. It makes me really sick.
Dwayne, you're absolutely correct. Before you get too far away, turmeric is also used for dye for clothes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just find out what your body needs.
So the other one, which she's talking about too, is we found out is black walnuts. Black walnuts, the outer skin was used in a tincture for iodine. So that's really good to know. And you can use a 1/4 cup of black walnuts. If you get through the husk and you get through all that stuff, they're saying that a 1/4 cup of black walnuts is enough protein for a man for the day. So you can find that squirrel where he's got them stashed. It's a good one to keep in your repertoire too. The other one too that you can talk about, and that is acorns. But acorns have a lot of tannin in there. The Indians used to take them and put them in bags, and they used to throw them in the river for a couple days to wash the tannins out of them. I've seen people dry them. I see them roasted. They would pound them, use them for flour. So there's another one, but you do have to get the tannins out, otherwise they're not very good. Mm-hmm. All right, next. Wait a minute. What did Grace saying? I consume lots of garlic, ginger, and cinnamon. I do too. I like the cinnamon, or the Chinese cinnamon. It's called 5-spice cinnamon, and I love that stuff.
Welcome, Ford Man. Thanks for coming in.
Going Green Mom raid. Thank you so much for the raid. Raiders. Hey, Jess, did you put your link on the top of the chat? Pin it to the top?
No, I didn't. I just dropped it in the chat.
Where? I don't see it.
It was a while ago.
Oh, we'll drop that in there.
Again.
Yeah, drop it in there again. Zany, good to see you. I have a huge black walnut tree in my backyard. They are killer if you step on one. Absolutely. And they turn everything black.
Yes.
But at the same time, they which message did I pin to the top?
I don't know. Ark Wildman said that black walnut husk also kills ringworm. That's good to know.
There it is. Okay, I got it. Jeff saying turmeric has to be eaten with a healthy fat and black pepper to be absorbed. So there's the other thing that a lot of people don't really understand about the peppers. Capsaicin is wonderful for opening up your blood vessels and your capillaries, and allows you to absorb the nutrients that you're getting, so your minerals, your vitamins, and everything else. So if you guys ever notice with your powered or your healthy drinks, your teas, we just saw in here a little bit ago, they're talking about stinging nettle and all that other stuff. You're going to find cayenne pepper in there. And then what the cayenne pepper actually does is it's one of those that has a lot of capsaicin in it, and it opens up your capillaries and allows your nourishment to come into your body. So if at all possible, and you guys can stand it, I would have that in my repertoire of stuff. It'd be one of the things that I would put away in my seed banks or something, would be cayenne pepper. And there's a couple different ones that ain't so hot, and there's the one, like I've got a couple of the Ring of Fire stages that are actually hotter. But think about that too for your seed banks. If you guys have not started a seed bank, you can get them in a lot of places, and they're wonderful to have. I think I've got a couple of them actually. All right, what's next, Jess? I keep interrupting you.
That's all right. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Let's see. What's the next one? Parsley. Parsley is a really good one. It has more vitamin A than kale. It has 3 times the more vitamin C in it than oranges does. And it has 2 times the amount of iron than spinach has in it. It also has tons of vitamin K in it. So if you're on blood thinners, that's another one that you need to be really careful about consuming.
Parsley?
Parsley.
Now see, back in the day that was used to put on your plate. Everybody thought it was just to dress up the plate. And actually it's a breath mint, so after you're done eating, it was to help clean your breath. And then I found out down the road that it actually helps with help with stomach issues. So it gives you a calming for the stomach after you eat. So if you eat too much and you eat some parsley, they say if you eat parsley after you're done, it's supposed to calm your stomach down.
Yep.
Oh, Freaky, good to see you, buddy. Missing. Rose Young, rolling. What do you do to preserve your produce? There's 3 different steps that I use. I do a lot of canning. I do a lot of freezing. I do a lot of dehydrating. Then I put them into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. And we have that set up on a rotation. So every other year we set up those so that we can continuously keep a fresh supply. That's what's really great about the homestead, and that's what's really cool about doing thriving instead of just the whole survival situation. I really wanted to actually build this homestead up so that it has the ability to provide for us and keep us in a healthy state with the apples, the vegetables, the fruits. Everything that's on the property is inedible, so that is a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, and Dr. Prepper is asking all blood thinners or just Coumadin. I do most of my research around Coumadin because that's what my husband is on. But when I did research the parsley, it specifically said blood thinners. So I'm not sure about other blood thinner medication.
Jeff's asking about what about Bardu cherries? I never even heard of them, Jeff.
I've never heard of them either.
I know there's a lot of things out there like the goji berries. There's another one, blueberries. If you guys can put some on in a pot, I've known it's called a top hat. I've got a couple of those bushes. They're smaller bushes. They produce a ton of blueberries off of them, and they can be put in pots. They like pots. So, but blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, all of that stuff is good antioxidants.
So I wanted to talk. I got a couple of stories for you guys I came across that I thought was pretty awesome. I've known about for quite a few years. And I came across in one of my mother-in-law's books, and it was on the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu was in 1918, and if you're into a lot of homesteading or history or anything, you've probably heard this story. But back to like the onions that we were talking about, how they had the same type of properties as garlic. There was a doctor in 1919, back when, doctors visited your home. And he was traveling around trying to help people with the Spanish flu. Most of the farmers back then caught it and died, but he was trying to save as many people as he could. And he came upon a farmhouse, and everybody in the farmhouse was healthy. So he asked them, what are you doing different than everybody else that you're so healthy? And the wife spoke up, and she said she cut onions in half and she placed them in every room of the house. Well, the doctor asked her, can I please take one of those halves and examine it? And she said, yeah, sure. So he took it, put it under a microscope, and found that the onion had absorbed all the influenza. So I thought that was a pretty amazing story. What else was there? Oh, there was another incident where a woman, she had really bad pneumonia, and she had heard about this story. So what she did was she cut the onion in half, and every night before bed, she would put a new onion next to her nightstand, and that onion brought out all the pneumonia out of her chest. So
thanks for letting me know, Heritage Harp, that we still have the music in the background.
Oh.
I didn't even hear it.
So when all this craziness broke out, I remembered back to this story, and I had half raw onions all over my house, and my husband thought I was crazy. A couple friends that stopped by, they're like, what is all this onion smell? And I was like, I don't care. If it worked for them, it's going to work for me.
So if you guys, there's another trick and a story to tell. If you guys are one of those that cut up an onion and your nose and your eyes run and burn and you got to run out of the house, one of the tricks that I found out is if you soak that thing underwater, it don't do that. Or there was another thing is they put something on the outside and it soaked it right up. So don't know if it worked, because every time I try to cut one of those things, my eyes are just burning.
Yeah. So, and then the other one I thought was really interesting, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, Mark, if you haven't already heard it. But during World War II, the bomber crews for the British Royal Air Force, or the RAF, they had trouble seeing in the darkness, trying to, shoot their targets. And so one of the men that was a flyer, whatever, he told a family member, an older family member, about what was going on, that they were having a hard time getting their targets. So he made a batch up of bilberry jam. Have you heard this?
Bilberry?
Uh-huh.
Really?
So they made the bilberry jam for all the bomber crews, and before they would go out on a mission, they would eat this bilberry jam. And it was so amazing that their target was, they would get their targets with amazing accuracy. Like, they never missed after eating the bilberry jam. And it was found out that it was really, really good for your sight, for your eyes, for correctiveness, and what else did they say? It's been the most ten popular herbs in the United States since they found this out. And the bilberry sale in '99 was $97 million.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. Hey, Zach, thanks. I'm going to try that. Zach says if you light a candle while you're cutting onions, it burns up the gas from the onions. Just place the candle on the counter close to where your prepper is. I will try that because we have candles all over the place, and I'm going to try that out. And then we
Yeah,
had one. Heritage Heart says my grandmother cured my son's bronchitis with an onion. So I know onions are very good for you.
yeah, I'll have to try that out too, Zach, and see if it'll work. But what works best for me is when I cut onion, I just wet a paper towel and put it next to the onion. Onion is attracted to moisture, so the tear ducts of your eyes, that's why you start crying when you cut an onion, because it's attracted to it. But if you put a wet paper towel, the onion will go towards the wet paper towel.
And then Gigi's asking, has any purchased the old household remedy book? I don't know if it's the same one that's on Facebook, but I have this one where it's called, this is the Country Doctor Handbook, and I think it's probably the same. It's a really good book to have. And I'll have a couple of different links and books in the description after we're done here, because I got to go and I forgot to put them in. But I also use the Nutrition's Almanac. Gray got that one. Also, that's another good one to check out. And those will be, huh?
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
And those will be in the description after we're done here. I just got to put them in.
So Kathleen Klein says, I use bilberry extract when I was driving at night as a truck driver. Swear by it.
I'm going to have to go in and do some investigating, because there's some things I'm learning about. I don't think I can find that around here. I'll have to probably order it. But
yeah, and you know, bilberry is the cousin of blueberry.
Because I know like elderberries, gooseberries. I know all of those, and most of them. But I have to try this bilberry.
No, Best Life. I haven't heard of honeyberries.
Is there another name for this that I might be thinking about for this bilberry, or is that just what it is?
That's what it is. Bilberr. Emily L says, I tried the paper towel with water with the onions the other night and it worked.
Awesome. Because I hate cutting up stuff like that, and it just freaks you right out.
So, that is my stories, my education, and my vegetables. I went through that way too fast.
There's a couple more that I really do enjoy. Mint is another one that you can have on the homestead, and you can pretty much grow it anywhere in a pot, or in a, you can pretty much throw those seeds out and they'll grow wherever you want them to. They do like to take things over, but there is medicinal properties with that. Not only is it good, a fresh refreshment, like in the summertime when I'm outside working, I will get a bunch of mint and I will crush it up and throw it in a container of water with some ice, and it is a great refreshment and it is awesome. So Going Green Mom says, is bilberry high in vitamin A? I'm gonna have to look this up.
I know it's really high in vitamin C. I'm not sure about vitamin A.
The other one that's really good in vitamin C is going to be pine. So I like balsam. It's a very good way to make a good tea, and it's loaded with vitamin C. Joy's Blessed Life said, I also heard you can cut an onion slice on the bottom of your feet at night with your socks to pull out the toxins. Absolutely, we were talking about that before. It is really, really good to use as a detox. A lot of people have used it in the pre-days, and they swear by it. They would stick that in their sock and go to bed. So let's see what this bilberry has to offer us here. Gray's probably already looked it up in his book. You're not going to believe this. It's not in his book.
Bilberry was very controversial. I do know that. They didn't want people to find out about bilberry. And so when the United States found out about bilberry, they covered it up. And they, instead of saying it was the effects of bilberry, they said it was the effects of carrots. So a lot of people started consuming carrots, which carrots is good for your eye health too, but not as potent as the bilberry. But that's what they did. They covered it up with the carrot so people wouldn't get that benefit.
Really?
Yes.
Heritage Heart says you have to be careful that the onions don't give you blisters on your feet, though. Yeah. Zach's asking about the mint. Mint is a bug repellent also, if I remember correctly. Absolutely.
Okay.
The other one, guys, if you guys are actually looking, I know every prepper has probably stashes of this in their box somewhere, and that is your good old Listerine mouthwash. Now you can put a cup of Listerine or less in a container, fill it up the rest of the way with water, and you can spray yourself with it. And let me tell you, it is a wonderful, wonderful mosquito repellent.
Arc Wildman is also saying rose hips are high in vitamin C as well. Yes, I love rose hips. I love making rose water and rose oil. A lot of benefits to all of those.
Yeah, vitamin C is a great thing to boost your immune system. Remember, guys, the other purpose of this talk too is to get you guys thinking about the food and what you got put away. To keep your immune system up for what's coming. If you're high in vitamin C, your immune system is up. You have a less chance of getting sick. Once we start to really get into, me and Gray are going to be doing and talking about this, and that's going to be cal intake and what we need for that. And I'm going to start getting out some of my Mylar, and we're going to go through and start looking at that stuff. But if you start thinking about that, you're not going to be able to eat like you're eating now. You're going to have to supplement stuff. So if you got stuff put away and you think I'm going to be doing this and doing that, you're going to get really sick of eating beans and rice. That's a supplemented food for that. You have to put something else in it. And what's really cool with the summertime is we have all these fresh veggies that we can throw in there. Plantain is another good, I'm sorry, not plantain. It's purslane? No, plantain. You can find it in the garden. It grows like a weed. You can cook that up and you can put that in your rice. I've done that before and it's really good. There's another one. Peppermint oil keeps rodents from munching on vehicle wiring. That's good to know. I was using mothballs all these years. But yeah, there's, if we really talk about that and we think about it. Oh, Arkman, he just said my favorite one, turkey tail. And pine needle tea as an immune system builder. That is so cool. Yeah, turkey tail mushrooms, I love going and hunting for them. Can tomatoes go with rice? Mom makes. She last year, I don't know if you guys know what rotel is. And I can that up, so it's tomato based. It's got onion, garlic, and some peppers in there. Well, she found a recipe. She makes that with the green beans, and she actually fries the green beans up with it, and it's delicious. I love it now. So I wouldn't see why the tomatoes wouldn't be the same way. We found out the other day, I remember what's live stream I was on, but tomatoes are green tomatoes. There's something with green tomatoes. What was it? If somebody in this...
It's a tobacco.
Oh, yeah, it had nicotine. It was Gray that was talking about it. Yep. Yeah, okay, so the green tomatoes have nicotine in them. So those you guys out there that are smokers, chewers, whatever else, and you got that nicotine drive, talk to Gray. He's in the chat right now, and he can tell you exactly how much nicotine is in that. And that's a good way to get your nicotine fix.
Yes.
Hey, there's Harvey. Good to see you.
Hey, Harv. So
But
yeah, and that's like one of my goals in life. I want to create like a huge apothecary, full of jars and herbs and stuff like that. So I'm planting all kinds of herbs this year. I plan to dry them out and put them in mason jars, and then collect as many herb books as I can. And then once I have all the herbs dried out and everything, I can start playing around and seeing what I can do.
guys, don't forget, if you're in here, please share us out and hit the thumbs up. We're going to be doing a lot of these. Well, I forgot to hit my thumbs up. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. I go live on Mondays and Fridays. And then we're going to be, we got Gray. He's got Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think. Harvey, you want to put Gray's when he's going live? I think he does Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I remember right. But we're going to be talking about a lot of this. But I really wanted you guys to get that thought process in your head about your cal intake, what you're putting away. Suddenly getting a lot of buffering. But I'm watching on my phone. I don't see any buffering there, buddy. Freaky. Sundays at 5:30. Then you got the shift report on Mondays. 5:30 is Medical Monday. Tuesday 9 p.m. live with Gray Exchange. That's what it was. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays he's live. Southern Boy Prepper. Good to see you.
Hey, Southern Boy Prepper. Thanks for coming in.
So if we look at cal intake and what we're taking in, food that contains nicotine link, there it is. Gray just put the link in. When we look at that, we're going to go in real good depth, and I'm hoping that this will get you guys thinking to some of the things that will help you out and give you that extra boost. The leafy greens is a great one. You can do spring and fall when your temperatures are low. That's when it's probably the best. So that's another cool thing about that. And then, of course, like your garlic, your onion, your peppers, all the good things. Also, tomatoes are huge ones to grow. And if you can, the fruit trees and everything else. So if you guys walking around in the woods, if you're out there doing your thing and you see some fruit trees, wild asparagus, anything that, keep that in your memory bank.
Arlene says bilberries are other supplements can be found at Standard Process. I use them, been in business since 1929. I love Standard Process. They are affordable, and that's where I get all of my vitamins and minerals when I need them. I take a lot of trace minerals and B vitamins from that company. Not only have they been in business since 1929, but they are a family-owned farm, which, of course, I always support. They're very good.
That I didn't know either. The Big Blue House just says the eggplant is also part of the nicotine family.
Oh, weird.
We're actually we're growing that this year for the first time. Southern Boy Prepper, I feel your pain because all it's been doing here is rain, rain, rain. I got to get the greenhouse up, and I also have to get plants going, so it's going to be a huge thing.
Rose Young, do you have a channel? That's awesome. Let me know if you have a channel.
Hat Creek Homestead, thank you for coming in. Howdy. Joy bless his life. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in here. And glad we could see you.
Yeah, eggplant is a nightshade. Right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So like you got your basils, you got your, the other one would be sage. That's not as a nicotine, but that would be a great medicinal as sage.
Mm-hmm.
Your teas, very potent. We gotta remember, guys, is we gotta go back to the basics. So if you go back and look how pioneers, woodsmen, whatever you guys want to say, did it back in the day. I mean, their meats were stored with their salt in their meats. They would store it. That's the things that we need to get ourselves into and get our mindset on, and really get into that, because one thing that worries me right now is me and Jess were talking about. I know I was talking about gray. If you guys look up in the sky and you see them lines going all over the place, we all know what them are. And that's falling down on our food that we're growing. That's one of the other reasons why that I really want to get the greenhouse aerated and up. So, way to go, Clyde. That's what happens if you got horses in your. I really want to get it up so I can get that air moving through there, and being able to get some of my plants in there so that I can keep them out of that. What's going on? We don't have a lot of those in our area, but there's sometimes we see them quite a bit. And that was a question that came up before: is what do you do with that? And right now, the only thing I can say is a greenhouse. So potatoes are also nightshade.
Yeah, another thing is you really need to stock up on books, because you're going to learn a lot of stuff for your home remedies and things that worked for, the people in the depression and things like that. I love the older books personally. Me and Sarah at the Big Blue House Homestead, we talk quite a bit, and she feels the same way. She likes a lot of the older books. So I think that's your bet, stock up on books as well. So if you're in a situation where you need to know something, it's right there at your fingertip.
Right, and that's the other thing is when this stuff all happens and we don't have the internet. Gray was talking about come here, Paulo, come here. Gray was talking about we can write letters and stuff like that. Well, my theory is if the juice goes out, is the mail going to be running? I doubt it. They got nowhere to sort that stuff. They got no way to get the planes in the air to drop it off. So, the books are going to be huge. Writing stuff down, notepads, everything like that. Look what they did in the old days, So, Jess, the channel is yours. I got to go let my doggies out. I'll be right back.
All right. So, yeah, that's my goal this year, is to plant as many herbs as I can, save as many herbs as I can, and just learn and suck up as much knowledge as I can. I am working on my book collection. I did order the doctor's, Mark showed that book. I ordered that book last week, so I'm really excited for that to come in the mail. But I really need to work on my book selection too. I do have quite a few older ones from my mother-in-law, but I only have like a handful, so I would like a very extensive home library. Oh, you got it the other day too, Emily L. How exciting. Oh, that just makes me want mine even more.
Not bad.
How much time do you think we have before? I don't know. I think it's getting pretty close, but that's just my opinion.
If you guys look at the news, besides in certain areas about what's going on in Minnesota, overseas, there's a lot of stuff that's happening, and it's happening quick. And it's just a matter of time before somebody gets trigger happy. So, do your research, get your stuff ready, get your books going. Always be prepared. Country Doctor's Handbook. We just talked about that.
That's what I was talking about while you were gone. Yes, the Country Doctor's Handbook. I ordered that one the other day and waiting for it to come in.
Guys, I'll have the links to all these because I have this one. Peterson's Hand Guide. We're going to be giving 2 of these away when me and Gray do the Wild Edibles podcast. So there'll be 2 of these books that'll be given away with a bunch of other stuff. And I also have the link for the Nutrition Almanac. It'll be down in my description after the live stream here. So you guys will be able to get these, and it'll have my Amazon link. They're great books to have, and books are wonderful in general. From the SAS all the way to the Peterson's Hand Guides. I have Candleberry's books here. I got wild edibles, herbal antibiotics. So many different foods you can do. So you'll be able to actually just pick them up and grab them and have it. All right, I think they're back. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, and your books are knowledge, they're wisdom, they're power, and when the time comes, they're going to be very valuable. Now, we have some really old bookstores here in my town too, and I just love going to them. I have a little man that owns the bookstore, and he just sits in there all day hoping that somebody comes through. And I really enjoy just going in there and visiting him. And he just has books upon books. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite places in town to go.
So the other thing too, guys, we got to remember is that this knowledge was passed down before from generation to generation, and that's kind of what we need to do as a community, right? Everyone in here has good information. Everybody in here has great ideas. We need to pass it along with each other and become a tight-knit community. I took the bushcrafting and the homesteading and combined it as one, and you see that on my channel. And now we're going a step farther, and we're going to pull in the prepping side of things, because a homesteader, in my opinion, is the ultimate prep style. You have everything that you need right here on your homestead. It's not granted now, that's not for everybody. Some people have the whole idea when it hits the fan, and they can't stay at their home anymore. You have to make that decision if you're staying or if you're leaving. I made that decision. I'm staying. So everything that I have here, I want to make sure that I can support me and my family and my friends. But I will tell you a little story now. We had a power outage last year for about 3 days, and we thought we were set. We got a well. I got a 3,500 gallon pool, but we never thought in depth about how much our animals drank. So if you guys are thinking about that, you do have pets, you have animals, make sure that you got the food for them also and the water, because that, depending on your animals, some of them might be your food source. Gigi, my sister lives in northern Wisconsin, but doesn't do prepping. They're retired. That's cool. Some people, yeah, Fox, that's what I said, the food. My animals that we raise, I'm sure Jess has a few too, they're the food source, but we still have to feed them to get them to the size so that they're the food source. So food and water, well, I mean, you can't live without it, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to have to use the restroom more.
All right. But that's kind of where we're going with this, and I want to get you guys thinking about your foods and how you can use them, and the vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, and get that process going. Homestead, and Gray's saying homesteading, bushcrafting, survival gardening, and the list goes on we are the community. Absolutely. We're all together as one. It doesn't matter what your niche is. You're still trying to get to the same place, and that's what we're hoping that we can do. Feed the birds and squirrels. Fox, I feed enough of them around here in the summertime. They go right after the chicken feed. They'll actually fly in the coops and go and sit and eat the chicken feed. And the squirrels will go get the corn, so crazy. Absolutely, Zan. You don't need a big farm or big acres. You can do it in a city. Some of your cities have ordinances with the chickens and ducks and rabbits and all this other stuff. But you can have planters. You can grow them up. It's the best way. You don't need the big acreage. Well, Gigi, you say you're prepping for yourself. Just me and Gray had this conversation before. We prep for our family, but you think about you're going to have a close neighbor, or a guy down the street has some kids that are starving. If you're like me, and I see a kid that's hungry, I'm going to give them food. So you got to think a little bit outside that box, because it's not just going to be yourself unless you're in the middle of nowhere up in the mountains somewhere and your closest neighbor is 100 miles away. That's the only time you're by yourself. Yep, Zach, the rabbits and chickens are the easiest. They sell, if you can have a rooster, they reproduce. Same thing with the rabbits. You get a male and a female. We are meat rabbits. So those can be really good forms for prepping down the road. Neither one of them eat a whole lot. Chickens will scratch. They will scavenge. They don't care. My chickens do a lot better in the summertime, and because they're out scratching, they're getting worms, they're getting bugs, they got grass. They do a lot better, and the eggs taste so much better in the summertime than it does in the wintertime when I'm just feeding them feed, and I feed them organic feed. So they do things a lot differently. So Heritage Heart Doctor, are dehydrated foods as nutritious as fresh? Dehydrated has a longer shelf life. They do, if it's like Heritage said, if they're done correctly. Anytime that you add heat to something, you're taking away from that product. Like all my herbs, I hang dry. I do not put them in a dehydrator. Some things you have to, obviously, but the more, it's just like if anybody that's canning in here about blanching versus, put them in the freezer. Some things back in the old days, I found out, like split pea or sweet peas. They never blanched. They just picked them off the vine and they threw them in a cotton pillowcase, and they would throw them in the freezer or in their cold room, and they could go in there at any time and get that. Carrots, you can do the same thing. You can bury them in sand in the basement like potatoes. They did that back in the day. So there's ways so that you can preserve fresh food and have that throughout the winter. Last year we found out with our onions, we made it almost to, I think it was about a month ago, we finally ran out of onions. So we put up 20 pounds of onions. We still have our garlic. You can hang that stuff and preserve it for the whole year, and then you can take it and replant it. Gigi says, I have no contact. Pizza delivered a few months ago, and someone stole a few pieces, so I know there are hungry children somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sue. Good to see you. So there's so many different ways. Just get out of looking through the binders. Oh, what do you got on? You hear me, Jess? Jess, you hear me? Uh-oh. She's over there clicking. So there's so many different things that we guys can think about and we can do. And use that this time.
All right, is that working now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It just got a little bit of feedback from something. This must be bouncing off your speakers or something. Turn your volume down a little bit. Yeah, they're saying you're echoing. That took care of it. Uh-oh. She shut off her camera again.
Is it better?
Yeah. Kathleen's asking, a freezer will do no good if the power goes out.
What's going on?
I don't know. And you're absolutely right. If you got to have a second power source. If you got freezers and stuff like that, and learn to can. You can use solar power if you can, but at some point in time, like up here in Wisconsin, they were doing the grants for solar power, and I actually called in about it, a place out of California to come in and put solar panels. and they called to see if everything was still good, and they were going to come down here or up here. And I asked them the simple question of what happens if we don't have sun for 7 days in a row. And they said, well, your panels won't charge very well. Wow, you got feedback, Jess, for some reason. I think I got rid of it. That's weird. Yeah, Kathy, I'm not even on.
It's on my end, but I can't figure out how to fix it.
I'm not even on YouTube on my end. I'm going through Streamlabs. I think I got rid of it. I just muted one of the other sides. Nope, I can still hear it. Hey, country girl. Ooh. Yep, Jess has an echo. I have to find out where that's coming from. I don't hear it now.
Is it better yet?
A little bit. I can still hear it a little bit. No, I can still hear it. Try popping out and coming back in with the link ones. If you can't get back in, send me a message. The best life's not. Yeah, guys, that's the other thing too is we're getting.
Keto Homestead just joined.
Oh, I can still hear it. You got YouTube volume on?
No.
Weird. Oh, go into your go in here and click on the arrow key where your volume is and turn on echo cancellation. There. That's better.
Is that better? Okay.
No. Did you turn on echo cancellation? See, go on the go in melon and where the little arrow up key is, where the mic is. You see where it says echo cancellation? Is that on?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's off.
Turn it on.
Hello?
There you go. Problem solved.
So weird.
That's okay, Fox. So, Jess, they're asking you where your hours are sitting.
I'm at 400 hours right now.
So, guys, if you can run Jess's playlist, her channel is pinned at the top of the comments. You guys can go over there and help her out. That'd be great. Is your cell phone on in the background? Zach's asking.
No.
Weird. That is strange.
City girl, country girl says she can't hear me.
Really? Should be able to hear you. Can you guys not hear Jess? Jess, start talking.
Who? Hello. Good night, Sarah at the Big Blue House Homestead.
Angie's Hey Family Adventures. Hi,
Welcome,
everyone.
Angie.
We'll have to fix that. Here, let me see if I shut the. Well, you wouldn't be able to hear me then. I was gonna shut the mic off over here, but okay, they're saying they can hear you. All right.
Okay.
It worked fine for an hour, and then all of a sudden it got goofy. I have no idea why. It's part of the gremlins. But I'm probably going to go until about 12 o'clock, and then we'll...
I'm like super delayed now.
I think it's YouTube. Board man, they can hear you loud and clear, along with the echo. It's weird that came back. Don't understand why. I'll have to do some more in-depth. Yep, it's YouTube, I think. I'm just going to blame YouTube. So anyway, guys, if you guys, I hope we got some information for you guys that you can go back and think about. Yep, Dr. Prepper says 200 people can listen and watch you for 2 hours, and you got it. Absolutely.
Yes, and Harvey Black, he was a trooper today. He watched my videos all night last night and this morning.
I've been doing good, City Girl. I'm back in a hot seat now, and back doing live streams, and we'll be back putting out videos here shortly. So, Dr. Prepper says you get twice, but I just listen to the echo. That's so strange. That's bugging me now. I gotta figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nicole, how's it going?
Hello, Nicole.
Good to see ya. Yeah, guys, with one of
Thank
the,
you, Susan Woods.
if you guys can, run her playlist or her links on the very top. We're trying to get her before I get you. If you guys didn't hear about the news on YouTube, YouTube is once again going to change their monetization. It's going to happen in June. So if you guys are another one that are getting close to that 4,500 mark, you want to get it done before June. But yeah, then there's too much of us watching YouTube, so.
Thank you, Going Green Mom.
Dr. Prepper, well, thank you. We're going to be doing this a lot, and
Sorry, Sue.
we're going to be also on Gray's with Gray talking about this, so there should be a lot more info coming out here.
They're asking what's happening in June.
YouTube is going to restructure their monetization, and they are now going to make it that they can put ads on anybody's video. So if you're not at that 4,500 mark, you're not getting paid for it. When YouTube figured out, they made a big mistake back in the old days. If you had 10,000 views, you got monetized. And then they went to this other stage. Well, then they got pinched for having ads on children. It didn't work through the federal government. And now they're coming out with this, that if you are a creator, it doesn't matter if you got 2 to 100,000 views, they can put ads on your videos. You're not going to get paid for it. YouTube is, and they're going to pick the ads and they're going to pick the placement. Right now we can choose where we want them, and we can delete them if we want to. They're changing that. Jess floored me the other night when she said when she came in, she had to watch 15 videos before she started watching my stream. That shouldn't be like that. Here to charge 4,000 hours needed. It's 40. Was it 45 or 4,000? Jess.
It's 4,000 right now.
4,000, yeah. So city girl, you gotta have 4,000. So I did heard a nasty rumor, and I think it was just a rumor. YouTube was talking about that they were going to raise it to 10,000 subscribers, but that was just a rumor. So if you guys heard that one, that's a rumor.
The Best Life, I had an ad on the video. On my videos, I am nowhere near monetized.
Hey Alf, yeah, that's what's going on. Is well, the good news is, guys, is if you are seeing videos or ads on your videos, that means that YouTube thinks that your video quality is good. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, here to chart, there'd be a lot of people dropping off YouTube because, that's why this is such a, this is the important thing is if you don't have these people that are in the chat right now, there's 42 people there's 42 people in the chat right now. If you don't have them, some of them are just going to be supporters of YouTube, but they're also creators in there. Go and check them out. Go and do it correctly. Leave a comment about their video. Say, hey, great to meet you. Saw you on Roland's live stream. Good to meet you. Hit the bell. Do that, share it out, do that steps, and then you keep that and make a friendship. If everybody did that for everybody, we would all be sitting at the same amount, whatever it is, 1 million subscribers. I think I heard the other day there's 300 million people on YouTube. Everybody would be doing the same thing, but the smaller channels, we need to support each other, and that's how we're going to grow, and everybody could be monetized. Everybody could be doing it. So it's very important you do it correctly, share each other out, comment, do all the good stuff. Yeah,
Hello, Elf Lord's Journeys. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's 4,000, so you can see it. The other thing that I heard as of today, I got an email that said, I will read this to you guys. I gotta find it. So as of today, known issues, likes and dislikes, discrepancies, watch page versus your analytics. It says, hey creators, there's a discrepancy between likes and dislikes on the watch page and YouTube analytics that affecting your channel. Our team is aware of this issue and is fixing it. We'll confirm an update on the threads once it's fixed. I've never got anything on the threads after that, so it still must be an issue. The other thing too is if you are in an area that you can and you have somebody that you can trust, there is other ways of doing things to help us out. So this young lady that is sitting next to me, or up in that little box up there, is helping me by managing my channel when I'm away, on top of her own channel. So that's cool. So Jess is going to be the manager of Rolling Homestead, so she's going to be able to help me with keeping things in track, answering emails and questions, and also comments if there's something going up with a live stream, so we can do that as a team. So if you guys have that option and you do trust someone enough that you can do that, there is that out there. Is that still an issue on analytics? Going Green Mom, what are you talking about? The likes and dislikes? As far as I know, yeah, there is still an issue. They have not sent me anything saying that they had fixed it. Yeah, Dr. Pepper, she's pretty cool. She works pretty good, so.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper.
And if you guys haven't seen her latest video, go and check that out. Leave a comment on there. That all helps. That's what I thought, Elf, when I asked her. I'm like, cool. That'll help me out, and at the same time, she gets to learn the other. When she gets to the 5,000 mark, she gets to learn all of the tricks that YouTube has to offer. So she's got her hands full now.
I'm scared to say anything. I'm so delayed and echoed.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing too, guys, is we're gonna be doing some tech talks and doing some streams with software, editing, stuff like that. Gray's got it down there now. We're working the issues out. That's also coming up. I think we're gonna do that on a Tuesday morning. If I remember, Gray was trying to figure out the scheduling for that, but we're going to do some tech talks, and so that's going to consist of different software, Streamlabs, OBS, rendering, all that kind of stuff, mics, cameras, whatever comes up. Yeah. So then you talk about small channels versus medium and large ones. What numbers do you use to determine this? Smaller channels I'm a small channel. I would say if you're over 10,000, that would be. But there's people out there that have 1 million subscribers, for 500,000 subscribers. So anything until you get, I think, 100,000 would be considered a smaller channel to YouTube standards. I don't know. Dr. Pepper said that the echo is very faint.
Zach, I don't have a headset right now. Hey, Fishes and Loaves, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. So, City Girl, we're going to be going in more depth on this on Gray's when we do the tech talk. But notification working right. Instagram is a great way. If you go to anybody's channel and they have it set up, if you look on mine, up in my banner up on the top, you'll see YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have it listed in my description. Gray's got it. Jess has it. It's a great way because right before I go live, I send out a mass text on my Instagram saying that I'm going live. Angie.
City Girl, Country Heart, yeah, YouTube will do that. I was off YouTube for a week for medical conditions, and I lost 100 watch hours. I was down to 400 watch hours, but then they bumped it back up to 500 for not being active on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, Mary just learned about the chats and you got to remember too, guys. A lot of, just like Mary's in here right now, a lot of people watch on their TV. Like Emily's saying, that's how she got hers. Her message that I was going live because I do the mass edit where everybody that's in my Instagram that I have, and I just blast it out right before I go live. The other thing too, guys, I'll give you another trick of the trade is if you go look at that cogwheel down in the bottom, if you're seeing somebody that is they're foggy, they don't have a really good picture, go click on that cogwheel because YouTube will throttle us down. I found out the other day Gray was at 144. He came into mine the other night, and I was at 144. So if you hit that cogwheel, we are actually streaming in 1080. So you guys should be seeing us crystal clear. That's another thing that YouTube has done because of the amount of people that are live streaming now. They throttle back on the bit rates. Same thing with 4K videos. If you see some of
Welcome,
them,
Rattle Trap.
good to see Rattle Trap fishing. You see a video and it pops up and you see that 4K icon going, that means that video is in 4K. You're going to have to click on the cogwheel to get it that way. That's good, City. Cool. Here it says watching TV counts. Awesome. I was always thought that you had to be logged in and that's how it counted. Elf, I haven't seen Merle in a long time.
Peachtree.
What? What'd you say?
Northwoods Peachtree, I was saying hello to.
Oh. So, Elf, I haven't seen Merle in a long, long time. I don't know. It was set at 480 tonight, Emily? Yeah. So they're trying to throttle it back. I'm hoping everything's good with them, Elf. I haven't heard hiding her hair from them, so. Oh, thanks, Gray. There's the other one too. Is watch the community tabs. Gray just said it in the chat there. The community tabs are huge. We put out a lot of information of what's coming up, so keep an eye out for that too. Cool, country girl. Now there you go. Gray posts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Are you on Reddit?
Who? Me?
You.
No, I don't even know what Reddit is.
I'm on Reddit. Is Gray Man on Reddit?
I don't think Gray's on Reddit. He might be. He's a lot more than I am. Going green, you're a Facebooker. What's good about my Instagram is it's set up to post on my Facebook for my Rolling Homestead on my Facebook and on my Twitter. So when I post on Instagram, it also goes out on my Facebook and Twitter all at one time, which is really nice. So you can set that up that way.
Yes, Angie, you can post on Reddit.
So Gray says he's working on Reddit and even Twitch. We can actually stream to Twitch. I do have a Twitch account too. And BitChute account. Well, I get stuck going down rabbit holes on those platforms. Yeah. The best thing that you guys can do to help yourself out is to share it out. And if somebody sees something, share that out. That's how you guys are going to get to know what's going on, is using your ability to hit the share button, and that lets everybody else know that's watching your stuff, watching anybody's stuff. If you're watching Jess, you're watching me, or you're watching Gray, whoever, Heritage, Fishes and Loaves, Green Mom, any of those people, if you see that, share it out. Only takes a second, and it's a good way to get across. Oh yeah, Zen, I also do use Discord. Wow, Northwoods Peachtree. That's a big channel, 24K. If you look on when you go to click it out on Instagram, when you go and you hit share to everything, you look in your settings, it'll tell you you can set it up to share to whichever ones you want to. So Country Girl, go to your settings and you'll be able to see it. Northwoods Peachtree. This is your first time in here. I don't think I've seen you in here.
I don't have anybody to share with either Heritage Heart Homestead, but I keep sharing it out on all my other platforms.
All right, Northwoods Peachtree. I came over there and checked that channel out. Nice buck too. Yep. So guys, I want to thank everybody for stopping in. It is 12 bells. We will be back on Friday night and with another good topic to talk about. Meantime, tomorrow night, Gray will be on and then Thursday he'll be on. I'm trying to get Jess to go on one of these times too, so we can keep it in the loop. You guys remember, please share each other out. If you haven't gone and checked out Jess, please go check out Keto Homestead. The link is pinned at the top. Help her out. She needs 400 more watch hours to get to that monetization before June, so that will be great. Harvey, mods, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Jess, for being part of the live tonight. I appreciate it. You guys all are wonderful and great, and we wouldn't be here without you guys, and I will not ever forget that. So you guys take care, God bless, and we'll see you on Friday. Night all.